they're like $2 for a 10 or 12 pack. So, and you can get like 50 packs of them, and it's just the lid insert, not the ring, but the lid insert. That's what you need to get. So, yeah. So your camera went black for a minute, but you're back.
Mm.
So, yeah. And then if you want to
Well, I
know,
was saying I know of people that reuse them, and these are people I don't know personally, and I kind of just shake my head because in my mind, you can't save $1 on everything.
no.
And in my mind, that is a very simple way to help secure, your product.
Well,
You know.
safety first too for your family. I mean,
Hmm.
and a lot of people want to reuse jars like pickle jars and stuff like that. I don't know anything about that, and so we don't recommend that at all either.
Hmm.
Again, it's the lid. It's all about the lid because it gets and it holds bacteria in it, all that good stuff. And once that lid is sealed and you pop it, it's not really there's a high chance that it's not going to seal properly again. So,
Well,
and
the
then
canning process, a part of it is it changes the texture, the makeup of the seal that's
yeah,
under that lid, right? That's the whole idea of it, securing itself to the jar. And can you recan something and then you test the seal? Yeah, but if you don't absolutely need to, if this isn't, kind of post apocalypse and we're canning,
yeah.
and saying like we don't have any more lids, we still need to can. Like unless it's that, I'd say purchase the lids again.
Well, they've
The
got their
rings you
reusable
can
lids now.
reuse.
Have you seen those?
I have. I don't know
I'm
enough
not.
about
I don't
them
know
to
enough about them
know.
either, and I don't want to try
Are you
them.
trying them?
No, no, I'm not going to try them. I'm scared to
No.
try them. I'm set in my
Mm.
ways. They need to be out for a few more years. I need to read a little bit more about them, just because for so long it's been said like you don't reuse lids. So I'm going to let it ride for a little bit. If you are reusing those lids, that's fine, but your standard lids, no. And then the other thing too, which just left my mind, um, it was about pressure canning. But either way, as you get into this and you start thinking about, okay, this is what we want to do. I want to freeze. What can I freeze? And then you start gathering your recipes. Oh, it was if you're going to start pressure canning or water bathing, don't ask us how long to do it for. The best place to get that is going to be in the instruction manual in the canner that you get. Guys, I'm talking to you. I know you want to throw the instruction manual out and you got this. Don't do it because it's got recipes in there. It's got hot pack versus cold pack versus altitude, all kinds of stuff in there. And that is what I go by when
Hmm.
I do. I have, it's like the only manual that I keep, but that is the manual to use. And it makes a big difference. So definitely use that. And then, like I said, other recipes and stuff like that. So, across the board when it comes to different methods of canning, the best value for canning or not can preserving, excuse me, preserving. Um, I think personally, the best financial value would be a pressure canning system because the world is your limit at that point, from meals to beans to whatever, and I think as you step down, you get more and more limited. But there is a little bit of investment and there's a little bit of like dipping your toes in the water. And I think personally, if I was to get started, what I did is I started off with green beans. That was the first thing that I canned, and it worked out really good. It was a solid performer. We knew what to expect because we ate canned green beans all the time, and it was a good way to kind of get your feet wet. So you can definitely use that to your advantage. But once you figure out what you want, then you've got to start getting all your supplies together and stuff like that. So as far as drying, do you want? I mean, if you get a dehydrator, you're done, right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I think I want to underscore this idea of um, planning for preservation season. So not only we talked about earlier, if you have a freezer, great, right? Obviously, you have a freezer. I'm certain it's stationary; it sits in one place. But when you think about these other methods, where are you going to put these jars that are filled? Where are you going to store the jars that are new? Right? The vacuum sealer, generally they're pretty small, so you can probably just as a small appliance, shove it into a cabinet drawer. Where is your drying setup going to be? One of the best things about drying versus dehydrating is if everything is good with the drying, they can continue to sit there. You lose a little
Yeah.
bit of something if you're not securing it like in a sealed jar or a container, but generally speaking, you can set it and forget it. I repurpose my seed starting shelves since I have two set up. Like there are things that I sit on those shelves when I'm not starting seeds on them for the purpose of preserving. You know.
Yeah, I dry my herbs and stuff on there. Especially a wire rack if you're going to air dry is really important.
Mhm. Mhm.
Spacing everything out really helps. And
Mhm.
then as far as that goes, I mean that's really about it. And just a way to store it afterwards. But like if you use a dehydrator, man, that thing is crispy if you do it right. So we did that year I grew those geranium kiss tomatoes. They were like
Mhm.
I think they were like a super extra large cherry tomato, but they were like too big to be eaten as cherry tomatoes, but they were too small to be used as slicers. So we ended up just drying all of them, and we just put them in a mason jar and put the top on when we were done and ate them for the next year. I mean, it just kind of was what it was, you know. Um, and then
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
freezing and stuff like that, like a good I like again, I just recommend because it's helped us so much is a vacuum sealer. They're fairly cheap, and you can get usually if you buy one, you'll get a roll of plastic bags with it. But when you run out of that roll, you can
Mhm.
buy generic rolls for a fraction of the cost at double, triple the
Yep.
quantity, and then that vacuum sealer will make your own bags the size that you want. So you can do that as well, and
Yeah.
some of them like mine has a port on it to vacuum seal a mason jar. Never used it, not interested in using it, but it is an option. So that's something too. So what
I would say
about?
I have a separate
Go ahead.
little contraption that helps me seal the mason jars. I didn't get the additional tubing that I needed for my vacuum sealer. But yeah, definitely when you think about how you're storing these herbs, if you have a lot, it's great to be able to put them into the mason jar. That is a place where I'll reuse a lid, right? If I have a lid that I've used for something else, I'll definitely reseal it with whatever the dried herb is that I have.